kind of like a stew. It has chicharron in it and cactus, which is Nopales. And now I wanted to explain something up front. It depends on where you're buying your cactus, what the size of it's going to be. I got some pretty big cactuses here. So I have only used 3, but if you have smaller ones, which is a little bit more typical I think for you to find, then you'll want to use like 6. Anyways, what we've done is I've taken all of the thorns off, and how you do that is you just kind of take your knife and you just slide it along your cactus and discard those pieces. And what we're left with is our long strip here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into strips, kind of thin strips. And then the next thing I'm going to do after I cut it this way, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut it across and kind of leave them a little bit long so they're kind of long, thin strips. And that looks about good. Okay. And the next thing I'll do, and I had 3, like I said, because they were larger. I'm going to take it over here, and I've got some water that I'm going to boil them in. All right, the next step that I'll do, I have taken an onion and some garlic. I've got 1 clove of garlic that I have just diced up a little bit that I'm going to put in my pot with my cactus. And I took a whole onion and I've cut it up into rings. I'm only going to use about half of that onion right now, and I'm going to use the other half of it for another step. And we're going to let that boil. And then I've got another pot of boiling water on the back, and I've got about 15 of these small tomatillos, and I'm going to put in the water to boil on my back burner. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and then I've got 4 serrano chilies. And we're just going to go ahead and put those in the back one. And we're going to let both of these boil, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, my tomatillos are ready. They have gone from a bright green to a darker green. It takes about 15 or so minutes for you to boil them. Also, my serrano chilies were in that same water. So now I'm going to take that, put it in my blender. I've got my salt. I'm just going to do a few dashes of salt in there. And then I'm going to put this on, blend it up real quick. Strain that, and I'm just going to pull out the garlic pieces that I had in there. I'm going to bring that over here. I've got a little bit of canola that I'm going to put in my same pan. Got the water out. Got my heat on medium-high heat. And now we're going to use that other half of the onion that we had. And we're going to drop that down into the pan. And stir that around just a little bit. We want to let those get just a little tender. Now I'm going to take my salsa that I have here, pour them in with the onions. Use some of my water that I had my tomatillos boiling in, and I'm going to add that to my sauce. Then I'm going to take my cactus and pour it in there. I'm going to let that simmer for a minute. Now you want to taste it for salt to make sure that it has the right amount of salt for you. And I actually think that could use a little more, and boy is it spicy. Woo! Oh my. My husband will like this. Okay. And then I have about, I think it's about 1/4 of a pound of chicharron that I got at my Latin market, and I'm just going to break it up. Now chicharron, it's really dense, so it's not very heavy, so you kind of get a lot for not very much weight. So I'm just going to drop that down in there. And it's nice to serve this with some tortillas that are heated up on the side. That's what we'll be doing. And I've actually got my grill over here. Get my grill heated up for that. It looks very good. It's very, very spicy. I have to tell you this. If you are not a spicy person, take it easy on the serrano chilies because this came out very spicy. Yet my husband will love it. Now, traditionally, this is from southern and central Mexico. This is a dish that's served, very traditional where my husband comes from, usually served with some frijoles and some rice. And so I hope that you try this recipe out. I hope you enjoy it. I know if you're from that part of Mexico, you will love it. Anyways, we'll see ya, and you know,